Let's go, man. That's so much different. Even with light slaps, like shit, what's going on? Okay guys, welcome back to another episode of Fix My Game. It's your host, Chase Sucks at Jiu-Jitsu Smith. Survived one very easy light combat jiu-jitsu round with combat jiu-jitsu world champion Kody Steele. Let me tell you, it's a lot different. Even when the slaps are light, you change your game dramatically already to try and adjust for that impact. And there's a lot to learn there, so looking forward to getting some tips on how to be a little bit more ready for more combat jiu-jitsu. Okay. Whew. Thanks, Kody. That was super fun, man.
And different, right?
Yeah, it's way different because I mean, you're not hitting me hard, but you're trying to adjust. You know,
Yeah.
like, okay, what would I do? But then your guard is way different.
The guard's a little different, yeah. Like a lot of times, people are trying to go under me, and I would wind up and just smash them real hard. Then they're like, oh shit, and then they'd come out, and then the guard changes a lot. Like if you do, like I said, butterfly, it's not good unless you're hugging tight.
Right, right.
Anything like a lot of times the leg locks are definitely there.
Yeah.
But from what I see, a lot of times, like last time I watched the combat, a lot of guys were getting leg attacked, but I felt like I didn't see a lot of combat.
Right. They
so
were just playing jiu-jitsu more.
Yeah, so getting leg locked, like for me, I was like looking to smack it as like hard as I could. And
yeah, those are some light taps. There's taps, but you can see from his posture and positioning, those could be a whole hell of a lot harder if he wanted them to be. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have liked that very much. So. Okay, we took a little break there. I got my win back, and gonna jump into how to fix some things about my approach to combat jiu-jitsu, which was no idea how to do it. So, Kody, anything jump out at you right away? I definitely have some questions if you want to start there, but the first thing I noticed was, you mentioned when we were talking on the side there, when people were playing guard against you, they would slap, and I never once really knew when to slap. The guard was so different for me. So maybe, what are some fundamental changes I can make, both the guard and passing for combat jiu-jitsu?
Like when I was like passing you, there's a few times, yeah. So there's a few times like I was walking in, and here I was good. Here, this is like jiu-jitsu. I feel comfortable here. But every time I would if I started to do a pass here, now my face is close, boom, and if you were to slap me, I would probably kind of react, or I would kind of back away a little bit, and then this gets people to start going underneath and start taking legs, or turning it more into a jiu-jitsu than more of a combat. For me, when I was doing a lot of combat, I like to keep engaged. I didn't want people to always sneak under me, so I was always controlling their feet. And once I got close, I was either coming and sitting down here on the legs, and I was looking to either smack, or if I could stack them, I was coming more here because I was trying to sit on a leg. So now I could either start slapping here, I could push this leg down, or I could start looking for my smashes. And once I'm here, I was able to keep my face close. So now if he does hit me, it's not going to be that hard.
I mean, there's not really a whole lot of options.
Right. So I would always just start taking away the distance, smashing, and then I'd have more slaps to start coming in.
What kind of a guard? You told me before we started that sitting up in the normal butterfly is kind of dangerous because my head's right there at your waist. You can slap really hard. So I opted to play back, but then I never feel I had a lot of strength either. I was kind of just circling at best, keeping you away. Would you say sitting up and into you is a good option? What kind of guard would you like to play if you're on bottom?
When I was on the bottom, a lot of the times I kind of just kept here. I kept distance. I like to keep my De La Riva in, and I always kept space.
And what if I'm able to kind of get on top like this?
Here, every time I would start trying to, people would start to crowd me, I was always trying to get underneath. I would start doing Z-guard type things, X-guard, or I would stay here. Boom. There's a lot of options here. I just try to always stay at least not in front of him here. Here, he's stacking my hips.
Right.
All I want to do is keep my hands up anyways. And if I try to move anywhere, if he starts slapping me, then that's when I would just people would start turning away and making mistakes.
Would you say that the bottom is not where you want to be in combat jiu-jitsu?
I wouldn't say it's not where you would not want to be, because I watched the last one, the middleweights, and Dan Martinez, he ended up winning. And then I saw Kyle Chambers was in it. And I barely saw them slap too much, but they were always doing a lot of heel hooks. I think I saw Dan Martinez do a lot of outside heel hooks. So a lot of times the guys would stay in here, and he was playing on his back, and then it'd be here, and then he would always swim this leg in, and then he would turn them. So now even if I tried to slap, there's nothing there, and he was always capturing people's heels. So I thought that was a really cool detail that he was always doing, or thing that he was going for. It kept him kind of safe and out of range. That's why, like I said, when I was fighting a lot, you can't stand here, because Eddie was saying, if you stay here, it's a stalling position. If I just come here and I smack. So my goal is, like I said, I always like to be here. I like to crowd them, either sit here on the legs, be here, or come to the side, being flat. So now I can start hitting and start raining down some slaps. So a lot of times, how I would always try to approach people is people would be playing back on their guards. I like to always grab the feet here, and what I would do is I would come here and I would slap the inside of the thighs.
I'm really glad you didn't do that to me, by the way.
So I would sit here and just slap them.
And they would probably curl up, right? I imagine that's what they do.
And then a lot of times then out here I'd act like I was going to slap, and they would just react, and then I would throw the legs, and then I would start throwing down. So that's what I like to do a lot once I started to figure it out at the time, But
that is brutal sounding, and a really nice little sequence. Do you want to do a little drill like that? Just maybe patty cake it, show some ways that people could practice that sequence at home. I think it's pretty repeatable. You can just work that over and over again. Just show me that sequence and maybe give some people at home some options to practice this. So I'm playing guard, I'm swimming around.
Swimming in here. I like to grab the toes. I have more better control here instead of like if I were to try to like control his like knees or shins.
You can kind of break that almost.
Yeah, he could break or he could circle around or circle in and break my grip here. So what I would do is I was grabbing the toes a lot because I could control here. Then I would just slap here.
Right, you do it twice.
There.
And then I probably shift, right?
I'd fake one and then I would just grab the legs and throw them. And then when I would throw the legs, I'd come straight down for a slap. So if I was here and I would throw the legs, boom, I would come down. And then now I'm really close to come in, start hugging him.
Very nice. Well, there's a quick little passing sequence for combat jiu-jitsu. You guys can work that at home. Be nice to your training partners like Kody was to me so you can keep practicing. Those are some nice fundamentals, I think, for combat jiu-jitsu. If you had to distill maybe a couple of things people should really do to adjust their game, do you have any idea off the top of your head what those would be? Maybe 2 or 3 easy options to like modify your jiu-jitsu or thinking
For the combat, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here, like I said, one of my, like I would be more favored to go here is once I get them on their back, instead of controlling their feet or whatever, I would always push in and then step. When I step, I would step right behind this hamstring right here. So now I would start to kind of turn his hips so I could sit. From here, like I said, this is like where I like to be. Here I could throw down some strikes, get his hands up, I could do everything, and then look, if this is here and he's not worried about this, I can lift, push down, come down, start hitting some more, and start working my jiu-jitsu from there. Or if the guy, like I could feel him here, and he's like, I just feel a lot of pressure, like if I try to like push his leg, he's gonna defend it, then what I would do is I just slap the knee down here, and I come down for a smash. And I'm gathering both of his legs up right here, keeping my head down and forehead underneath his chin, and walking this left knee up and crunching him up until like a little ball. From here, it's way easier to pass, I feel like, when you can slap, get his hands in his face, here, boom, and looking for passing.
And for the guard players out there, what would you said you never want to let them be straight on top of you, I believe is what you were saying earlier, like you always try and change the angle. What's a good kind of option for them on the bottom, I guess, just so they can work that too?
If I was here, I was always playing like here, like single leg axe here, bam. Because once I'm here, I have my hands in front of me, I can block, and then I can also make a move or make them fall down from here. Or if I'm like this, I can start stretching him out, making him never feel uncomfortable. My hands are here, I'm blocking, and then sweep. I can sweep him underneath, come up, things like that, you know?
All right, guys, some easy options there. You can see it's still your normal jiu-jitsu, but let me tell you, even when you're playing very light, it changes the feel, changes the pacing a lot. It's a fun exercise. I'd never done it before, and I recommend it for you guys. You go ahead and give it a try, do it with someone you trust and like, and get those reps in. But moving right along then, one thing Kody did that I noticed a ton in our role, and I've seen him do a lot in competition, has some really, really nice back takes. Let's talk about some of those that you like to do, what you've been working on there.
Okay, so a lot of times, if I'm here, say, you want to start from turtle or just?
Wherever you want, yeah, start from turtle.
So a lot of times, like I say, I should go to your back. If I pass, yeah, on your back, yeah. I probably would pass you.
Oh,
if I was like this,
yeah.
Say, like a lot of times when I'm here, I pass and then I know they're gonna start to turtle. So there's a few things here. Once I like control, a lot of times I either control the waist or I control the inside of this thigh right here. So now I can kind of feel or engage where he's gonna go. Like if I know he's gonna keep rolling, I can seatbelt right away. And if he starts rolling away from me, I like to roll my left shoulder here. And then a lot of times I always pop right here. My right hand's always pushing this hand down, and this choke is always right here, ready to go. And then from here, I pull my hand out and slide my hand right behind the head. From here, just an easy squeeze. It'll be good.
Nice.
This is what I like to do when I know they're about to roll away from me. If they stay,
let's say, what if I stay tight right there? So you pass me and I kind of gave you the inside track there. Mm-hmm. But let's say I have my elbow in tight, maybe before you even get this grip in. Now what are you doing here?
Here, what I like to do is I stay a lot of patient here. Like I'll stay on the back of the hips, and a lot of times if I can't get my hand in, I like to control this far arm right here. Once I like to ride this arm, a lot of times, like let's say he starts to kind of roll away a little bit more, I like to smash. I throw my hips into him, just like here. Once I'm here, I go around, I'll change to the seatbelt, and I bring my right knee up. like this. So once I bring my right knee up, my left hand, I'm either gonna control the wrist or my hand's gonna already start creeping up on his neck. Once I'm here, I'll sit on my butt, lift him up, and now I can throw this left leg over, either close the body triangle, and then since I have this already, just take my hand out and squeeze. Every time I go for the back, I always like to look for the neck at the same time. It's gonna be like an easy, like a free shot to get your arm across. 'Cause to me, I feel like one of the hardest part is to get your hand deep, you know?
For the choke.
For the choke, right. If I can get it underneath the neck, that's perfect. Sometimes I feel like I want to just get it over the jaw or the face, and then I just crush it.
That's enough to crush.
Yes. If you get your arm in deep enough.
Okay, guys, another part of combat jiu-jitsu is that it lives inside the EBI ecosystem, meaning there is overtime potential. Kody has some experience there. They work a lot of drills here at Checkmat in Austin, Texas. And let's go start with how you actually settled into the back, because there, I think, are some positioning strategies there, as well as some ways that you finish from that position.
So when I'm here, the first thing, there's 3 overtimes. So unless you get choked and then the other guy escapes, then it's over. But what I like to do is sometimes I like to kind of like ride and get my riding time in, just so I know I have a little bit of a mental edge on him. So I always am gonna try to close my body triangle. For me, I have like kind of tight hips, like it's hard for me, and like short little legs. So it's hard for me to close the body triangle on some people. But so what I'm gonna do is my hand that's coming over, my choking hand, my hand that's underneath protects my choking hand, okay? And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue my chin right to his shoulder, and I'm gonna stay as close as I can. When a lot of times people start in the overtime, they'll be like, go, and then they just pull them back and they lose all this space, okay? So what I wanna do is I wanna keep my heels glued tight. I like to fall to my left side, and I'm gonna stretch them backwards. So I'm gluing here, I fall to my left side, and now look, I stretch and back. So my chin never leaves his shoulder. Now what I'll do is I take my right foot and I step right here on his hip, just so I can take my left leg and put it across. Now once I'm here, I can take my right leg and I'm gonna close the body triangle. From here, it should be really nice and tight.
It is.
Okay? So the thing what I wanna do is I don't really worry about this hand too much. A lot of times, like, I just try to clear this arm, and then the rest I can go for the choke. So what I'm doing here is I'll take this hand and I can pull it down, just like this, just push it down, and then my right hand starts to creep up and walk up, just like this. A lot of times they keep their chin tucked right here. So once they're right here, I'll grab just the back of their neck right here, and then I'm gonna start pulling his face this way. Once I start pulling his face this way, I'm kind of lifting up his chin. So I'm here, I start to pull him and roll him to the opposite side, and as I'm here, I take my left hand out and I'm lifting his chin up. Once I'm here, I can slide my hand underneath, look for the choke, and I fall, and I fix my choke right here, and then I squeeze there. Another option that I like to do from there is, once I'm here, I pull, I fall, I stretch them out. It's like here, bam, just like this. As I go down, I push this hand off, I start walking it, he keeps his chin tucked. Same thing, I'm grabbing, and instead once I start pulling him over to the side, I can't really lift his chin, he kind of keeps his chin tucked, so I take my left hand and I just cross it over his face, just like this. So now my forearm is just across his face, or his mouth. Once I'm here, this is just enough for me just to close the choke, and then I just squeeze. It should hurt, it should just be right here on the face. It's never nice, but it works a lot, really well.
Persuasive finish there.
Another choke I like to always look for is here. So once a lot of times I've already fought down, we're here, I stretched him out, I got the body triangle, and he's like pulling my hands down, and he's like controlled here. What I'll do is, first I like to try to break this hand, and I roll my hand out. Once I can roll this hand out, I always like to control this wrist right here. So I have 2 wrists, okay? One's over, one's under. From here, I always bait. I put this hand right here on the stomach, and then he's always gonna block like this, yes. So now what I'm doing is, as I start rolling to the left side, my left hand that was on the wrist, I just pull it back, and once I land up over on this side, I punch his wrist off, let go of this wrist, and I fix the choke. So once I'm here, my arm's all the way across, I grab my bicep, and I squeeze. I'm here. I find the hands to say I fall to my left side, I've stretched him out, put my left foot or my right foot on his hip, and I close the body triangle. Now from here, say I've already tried to choke. We're just in a big hand fight battle now. What I'm gonna do is I control this wrist, I roll this wrist out, and get this wrist free. Now I control his opposite wrist. So same side, I'm controlling over the top, and I'm controlling underneath the bottom, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I almost just bait him. I take his hand and I put it right next to his other hand. So he's always automatically, just naturally always gonna grab this hand. So from here, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start rocking over to my right side. As I get here, my left hand, just like a little shotgun, I pull back and I push, boom, and then I change and I go for the choke. Once I'm here, I pull my hand straight back, slide behind the head, and then I crush.
Very nice. Some good hand fighting strategies there. Let's flip the roles a little bit, actually. Let's show some defense. You know, I definitely don't have great back take defense. If someone has my back, it's not great for me most of the time. So maybe there's some things you can show me that would help tighten up my defense there.
So first thing I always try to do is I'm always controlling this choking arm. So here, it's like a little baseball grip. I'm here, I'm holding left, right, just like this, and I'm keeping it tight to me, or I'm keeping it down. I don't want to just start coming up and start trying to choke. Now for me, what I like to do is once I'm holding this choking arm, my left arm, I like to pinch down right here, okay? So if he does end up getting this arm across and he tries to get this hand out, at least I have a little bit of time to maybe grab his hand and pull his hand back off and then fight here, okay? Another thing is, so once I'm here, I start to fall to this left side. Now what I try to do is I try to get my head to the mat, and now what I like to do is I start trying to bring my head down and I try to lift my hips up and turn. So I start walking my hips up like this. And right here, I can keep control with my left arm, but what I do with my right leg, my right hand, is I push this foot off of me. Once I'm here, I start walking up. I take my right leg, pin it down, and then my left leg can scoop over, just like this, okay? From here, if it's EBI, you just roll out and just scramble. Mm-hmm. If I'm trying to like escape, what I'll do is I start trying to put my back into him. I'm gonna roll inside and roll into him.
Nice. Let's do that one more time. Look at those details again.
All right, let me go that real quick.
Yeah.
I'll control here, fighting.
So you fall away, of course, from the choking arm. That's the idea there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
yes.
You feel safe because my left arm is trapped basically in your armpit.
Right. Yeah. So I'm like holding and pinching this down.
What's the major fight right here for you then? Like, what can you not let me do?
What I don't want you to start doing is start like pulling, or like a lot of times if they start controlling this hand. They take this hand and they roll down, they push this hand down. Okay. Now, like I said, now I'm fighting your choking arm
with your weak arm.
With my weak arm, my far arm.
Okay.
So he's always going to be able to creep and try to get right here.
Got
so
it.
what I never like to do is let him control this wrist.
Okay.
I always stay tight right here, and I'm hugging.
So I can't even really circle here.
Yeah.
Got it.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to like put my head to the mat. I start taking I like make my toes alive. I start trying to tripod and lift my hips into the air, kind of like this. Okay, my right hand, I always try to peel this leg off. Then my right foot just comes up behind, pushes this down, and then I can swim this left leg over. Once I'm here, I want to get my back on the mat. Sometimes I'll even clear this arm over, hug his tricep, and then I can start going for his head, or I do back roll and roll into him.
Very nice. Any other crucial back defense details that people should really know, EBI or otherwise, you know?
I would say just the more important part is like controlling that choking arm is very important. I'm always keeping my chin tucked, always tucked and tight, and I like to always control this underneath my armpit, his other arm. Like I said, sometimes they'll break my grip off, and then he'll get the choke in real deep, and if I'm not controlling this bottom arm, he'll just rip his arm out and then go straight for the choke. So a lot of times I'm holding. If he just starts getting the choke on me, I can keep my arm pinched, I can reach my other hand back, grab his hands, pull it off, and start controlling again.
Very nice. Some great back attacks and defense details there. Let's move on to, I think, probably my weakest area in jiu-jitsu, a little bit of the stand-up game. Kody is known for excellent wrestling and also a terrifying suplex. I don't ever want to be suplexed. I'm too old and would die. So, Kody, what are some ways for me not to get suplexed? And if I do end up in that position where you're behind me, hands on my waist, how do I get out of there alive?
So let's say if someone gets my back right here, what I'm always trying to do is, first things first, is I'm always trying to drop my base down and get my hips away, just like this.
Because for me to take you over, I have to get my hips underneath you, correct?
Yeah, so you need to stay close to me and your hips need to be underneath me.
So ideally they'd be like down here.
Right, yeah, and then a lot of times what happens is, what I'll do is I explode my hips underneath them and then I lift them backwards. So what I'm always doing is I'm dropping my leg, dropping right here, and the first thing I always do is I'm peeling the hands off of me. As I'm peeling my hands off of me, I'm pushing my back into them, just like this, boom, and I'm fighting the hands. But once I break, I always like to control both of his hands still, because if I just break his grip and I start trying to run away, he's just gonna latch on to me and hold me again, and then he'll be able to throw me back. Okay, so first things first is I'm always trying to address the hands, break the hands, control his hands. Now the hand that's on the right, I like to put it into my back pocket and turn, and then a lot of times I can shoot back.
Do a reshoot.
And fly back in there.
Okay, so if I'm you start with the grips first and then you drop,
Yes.
and my back is into you.
Yes.
That feels counterintuitive to a non-wrestler because I feel like I'm giving you it, but it's because my hips are going away, that makes it safer.
Yes, and a lot of times I'll keep this leg a little bit back, because if you put both your legs forward, he'll just pull you down.
Got it.
So I want to have control.
So kind of like this?
Yeah, because now if I try to pull you back, you can start falling.
Right, okay. Break it, and then I get both hands,
Right.
and then the lead leg is what goes behind?
Yes. And then you're going to cut, and you're going to turn to your left.
Turn to my left, like this,
Yes.
and then shoot.
And then you're going to shoot.
Let's try that one more time. Hopefully it looks slightly more coordinated than that. So pop the back, stagger, but I had like this last time. Boom. Shoot.
Yeah. So if you were here on me, it could be like a little drill. What I'm doing is I'm taking my my palms and I'm trying to dig underneath his thumb here. Okay. I have my left leg back. Like I said, if I have both my feet forward and I'm trying to be, he's just gonna pull me backwards. Okay. So when I'm here, I have my left leg back, my right leg forward. I'm kind of sinking my hips, and now I'm starting to lean my back into him. But I still have a good base under me. Okay. Now I'm here, I'm driving, I'm pushing, I'm peeling his thumbs off. Now I control both of his hands. As I do, I tuck this into my my right pocket, and my left hand's right here, ready to defend.
Right, I'm all ready.
If he tries to shoot, at least I have my hand to defend me. Okay.
Very nice, very nice.
So we're here.
Boom.
Boom, guys. Boom. Yes, and then you can shoot right back in. Hey guys, so this drill, I like to do this drill, like I could do it before class, after class. It's a good like cardio little drill, and it's also like before class if you want to warm up before you start jumping into the class. I like to do it with my partners here. So the first thing I want to do is when we shoot, I'm going to be here in my stance, I'm going to change my level step, and then I'm going to go for the legs, and your partner's going to sprawl on you right here, yeah? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left leg, open it out to the outside, and then my right hand, I'm going to place it right here in the middle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sit out. My head's going to slide out to the outside, my left elbow is going to tuck, and my right knee's going to shoot through, just like this, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chase the back, just like this. So now, once I'm here on the back, my partner, what he's going to do, he's just going to stand up. He's going to start fighting my hands. He cuts me, he turns, and now he's ready to shoot. When he shoots, I'm going to sprawl down on top of him. His left leg comes out, he sits, and I want to be here. Now once I'm here, I fight the hands, stand up, boom, I start tucking away. I have my left hand ready to defend. I shoot in, boom. Right hand goes to the middle, left leg comes out, my head swings out to the outside, and I'm going to bring my elbow up to the ceiling, and I'm going to chase his back. Here, my face is going to come up, bring it, he cuts, now my sprawl. He's going to put his hand in the middle, shoot out, my hand comes up, start cutting, boom, here. Yeah.
Hey.
It's a good little cardio drill. Like I said, it's a good warm-up drill. Maybe before a tournament, you could grab a partner, do this for like 2 minutes. Do it as fast as you can once you get comfortable with it. Do it fast and you'll get warmed up real quick.
So we made it through the combat jiu-jitsu experience. Kody was very nice to me. Thank you for that. But it was definitely a wake-up call. Things were a bit different when slaps were involved, and I can only imagine how much worse it would be if he was actually trying to hurt me. So thank you for the time, Kody. That was a great experience, and we'll see you in the next episode of Fix My Game.